Hello, this is Susan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before I start, can you like, subscribe, share, do all of that sort of stuff? I am wanting this channel to grow, but I get a lot of resistance. It's really difficult because I don't monetize. I have a certain frequency that goes with these, and it gets spotted by AI, so my videos don't come up for people as a recommendation or anything like that. So I really rely on you beautiful people that actually do watch them and listen to them in sharing and subscribing and getting them out there, because I've had my channel taken down. I had to fight to get it back up for no reason. It's not like I say anything really detrimental to the fight, let's say. It's simply the energy that comes with it, I believe. I wanted to share with you today some things that Cassandra has said within the groups. She does these groups. They're private groups. We don't put them on YouTube. And if you're interested in joining these groups, that happen several times a year, it's very easy. You go to my website, lovelightandtruth.com, and you drop us an email with your details. And then when there's a group on, we'll send you an email to let you know the details. I don't have... I'll put you on the mailing list. I don't have a subscribe button, and I don't send out newsletters or anything like that. I just do things when I'm guided to do it. Within these groups, Cassandra talked about the Queen and how, we all know that she was a lizard, a Draco, and how she had this affection for humankind, and she really loved being the Queen. She had this pleasure around it. And I know there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of hideousness around, a lot of darkness around it also. However, she liked things to be in the background. She liked to be hidden. She liked to have a persona that everyone saw, and the things that she did were very how can I say, cautious. She was cautious not to get noticed. So she wasn't blatant, it wasn't over the top. She did do things, but she was cautious, and she did have an affection for mankind. And she loved being the Queen. She loved the idea of, us being her subjects. She absolutely loved it. So that was kind of nice, right? Now, when she departed, that signaled a shift, because the Earth's energy is shifting also. We're evolving. Well, the Earth is evolving into a new frequency. It means that the Dracos cannot inhabit the planet. So her departing was like the last of their reign. And what took that place is the mantis. Now, the mantis are a lot more vicious. They don't have an emotional kind of energy, and they have no affection for the human race. They see us simply as human fodder. And prior to her departure, at one point, all the dark fractions, and I've spoken about them before, worked independently. And then they joined together because the awakening started to happen with you and I, right? So then they joined together to try and suppress it, to stop it, to control us, to continue their reign. And that became very obvious 3 years ago, because it happened worldwide. It was very obvious. And then the infighting started. And Cassandra said the infighting will start. What I'm telling you is all what she has spoken about. So the infighting, it's hilarious. The infighting started. Oh God, I'm going to have a giggle about that later. The infighting started within these dark fractions. And yesterday was this massive ceremony, as we know, to crown a particular man. And who was there? All religious leaders from all religions, countries, everything. But who wasn't there? The leader of the USA. What Kassandra said was there was always a sort of, the UK and America had an agreement, and they had certain areas that they were in control of as individuals, right? And then they started to want to go into each other's fields now. So the battle begins. Whereas before they didn't. There was an understanding. Now there isn't. Now remember that the Queen liked to keep things private. She had a certain image she was expressing. She liked people to think a certain way about her, but to do these things in the background. And we can see that coming out in her family, these things in the background, right? And so whilst she was alive, she sort of kept that vibration going on the planet where darkness was there, but it was somewhat hidden. It wasn't really seen so much. Okay. Then as she became weak, when her husband left and her partner left, things started to get out of hand, right? So now what we're seeing is the darkness is not hidden anymore. It's out in the open. We have grown men in butt thongs twerking in front of 3-year-olds, dry humping 5-year-olds. We have 8-year-olds going down runways with a butt thong on, collecting money from grown men screaming at them and crying, right? So the perversity, you've got singers dressed as devils, and you've got, simulating sexual acts, and you've got pornography. I mean, you don't have to go far to see it all. It's very perverse, and it's in your face. Advertisements on TV shows. You can't watch a TV show without being heavily sexualized. There's nothing that you can put yourself on that is family friendly in a way, right? So it's all out there for everyone to see. There's no hiding it anymore. And what happened yesterday was a direct signal who is in charge again, because the leader of the USA didn't attend. It's like licking your wounds, in a battlefield. Shame. And so now we have, you and I, we know there's a battle between dark and light. But also there's a battle in amongst the darkness itself. And that, in a way, is a good thing, because they're not just busy battling you and I, they're also busy battling each other, which means that some are going to fall. And whilst they're battling in each other, because, darkness, it doesn't create, it uncreates. And so whilst it battles you and I, it has something to focus on, right? But you and I, we're not playing the game anymore. So they've got nothing to focus on, because a lot of people are turning their back on it. A lot of people, we think not so many people are, but they are. Look, it doesn't matter what country you go into. It doesn't matter. It's the same story. Everyone's like, oh, the corruption in the government, it's just terrible what's happening, blah, blah, blah. No help, no support, all the privileges being taken off people, the standard of living going down, the gap between rich and poor getting bigger. So everyone knows it, everyone feels it. So what are they doing? Some are turning to each other for help and support in smaller communities. Or they're just turning against it. They don't want to hear it anymore. They don't want to be a part of it anymore. They're fed up with it. One thing that actually I just need to say that makes me feel really disturbed is watching people who attended that ceremony yesterday camp out for days so they can see a glimpse of the robe or the crown or whatever. And all they're doing is amplifying the gap between rich and poor by saying, this person is more special than me. They're so special that I have to camp out for days just to get a tiny glimpse of what's going on and be part of the oath. Now remember, there was an oath that was taken. And what did I say in the previous videos? Oaths are around oaths and contracts, all that sort of stuff. That's darkness in play. That's darkness in action. Because when you are connected to God, you don't need any oaths or contracts. You don't need anyone telling you what's right or wrong because you know it inside. Children know it inside until they're corrupted. We know it. So, all of these people oathing to this person who's not even a person. So what they're oathing to is a race of beings that actually hate humanity and want to enslave humanity. All these people oathed to enslavement yesterday. And what we can do about it is not be part of it. What we can do about it is to connect with each other, to allow the light that's streaming through. Why do you think they're blocking the sun? There's a tremendous amount of light. Now, this is some of the things that Cassandra said. It doesn't matter how much they block out the sun. That energy is still coming through. It's still coming through. It won't stop it. It can't stop it. It doesn't matter how much money they pour into it. It won't stop it. They cannot stop what's coming. And what's coming is their demise, not yours, not mine, theirs. Their demise, in whatever shape or form that takes for them as individuals. But we don't have to be part of it. We don't have to go down with it. If we keep our hearts open and we stay connected to each other, just talking. I realized, in Istanbul, I found that a really interesting place. Not that I haven't been to Islamic countries before, but it clicked with me, this praying 5 times a day, and how amazing that is. That, can you imagine? And I'm going to start doing it, like setting a timer and reminding myself 5 times a day to place my awareness on love 5 times a day. If I were to, it doesn't matter what it is. So anything that you want to create, but it's like when you say those words, everyone's like, oh, I want a house, want a car, want this, want that. It's all about the ego. No, if what you really want is a better world right now, what you really want is honesty. What you really want is kindness. What you really want is support when you need it from a government, from a hospital. What you really want is your children to be educated beautifully and kindly and lovingly, that they expand and their gifts expand, whatever that gift may be. That's what you really want, not the ego. You see, we're all driven by ego with this friggin' internet and everything and the, scrolling down and all that. That's why I went off social media. I don't want to be part of it. So, and it's a huge thing to do because I lost a huge chunk of my audience, for that reason. But I thought, no, I can't do it anymore. So if we want that, why not focus on that 5 times a day? 5 times a day. And if you're thinking, yeah, but first I'll focus on this for 5 times a day, and then once I've got that, then I'll do it. I would say that's ego, and please don't, because what you really want is a better world at the moment and a better place for our kids. And what you really need to be thinking about is, what sort of world do you want to grow old in? Well, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, what sort of world do I want to grow old in? A world where people just walk past me, you know, sick on the street, or a world where someone takes my hand and helps me. So, you know, this, I'm not advocating Islam or anything like that, but the principle of praying or placing your intention 5 times a day is very powerful. And, you know, it hit me that every thought, every action, every deed I do has an impact in the world. When I see, like, I'm walking down the street and I smile at people, they smile back. You know, I could walk down the street with my head down and all of this, but I don't. I look at people and I smile, and invariably they smile back. And maybe that's something that has an impact for that person. Perhaps I'm the first person that smiled at them that day, that actually looked at them. Just little acts of connection, little acts of kindness create a huge energy field on the planet. So whilst we have this silliness going on of ceremony that's in our face, we don't need to be part of it. And I'm not talking about ignoring it, because we have to acknowledge it. I can see what's going on. Oh, I see the symbol. Yeah, I'm not part of it though. Because what I also understand that Cassandra has taught me, that the biggest enemy of the dark is the truth. It's being seen. And that's why the lady that I spoke about before liked everything hidden, right? Because she knew that if we could see it, it would disappear. It would have to go. Because we have free will and we make a choice then, don't we? So if we see it, we can choose not to have it, not to give it any energy, not to give it any power. And she knew it. And these fools, they think they won. And that's why they're doing it all in the open. But they haven't won yet. And they're not going to. Because you and I, we see the truth. And we're choosing to say no. And we're choosing to connect even when they don't want us to. And we're choosing to keep our heart open even when it's painful. So that's what I'd like to say today. And for any of you that may have taken that oath or anything, you can undo it. So, you know, these oaths, they last for lifetimes. It's not just this lifetime, you know, it's indefinite in some cases. And notice he said the oath was not just to him, but to his heirs or other kings and queens that followed him. So you're talking lifetimes. So please undo the oath that you took if you took it. I'm sending you lots of love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all of that. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.